All right, guys, welcome to a special edition of Behind the Beat. And today is kind of a special one because it's going to be a collaboration with my buddy Jailan Williams. We're actually going to go over this track here called Blueprint that was on our brand new EP called Proof of Concept. That by the time this video drops, the EP will be out. So definitely go give that a listen. Obviously, got connected with Jalen through being on his show or the show that he was a host of, co-host of a couple years ago called the Just Music Podcast. And we kind of just stayed in touch. And I remember, I think he presented the idea of working on music together. So we kind of just started sending ideas back and forth. And we really didn't have anything in mind as far as what we were going to do. But once we got like three or four different ideas together, I think we kind of mutually agreed that, putting them out as like an instrumental project would be kind of cool. So we came up with the theme, the track titles, all that stuff. It didn't take more than a few months to do that. And we just put it out recently. So this was a cool collaboration. And one of the ideas we had to help promote the project was to do kind of a co behind the beat where I show you the parts that I worked on, and he shows you the parts that he works on. So this will just be half me, and the rest of this video will be Jalen breaking down his parts of this track. And this one is a pretty cool one because I believe this track is one of the ones that he worked on initially. So everything up here, these three, the drums, bass, and the keys, that was all the stuff that he did. So I muted those for now. But I'm pretty sure the reason I have it in a session like this is because he had sent me that initial idea first. We were kind of going back and forth. Like sometimes I would send him some different ideas or maybe some loops, and then he would add to it. And then other times he would be sending me stuff to add things on. So I believe this is one of the ones that I added things on to it. So I'll just show you real quick what I added on. There's really not a lot that I added to this one, but I definitely added in where I thought that the like pre-chorus and chorus would be in this track. So I'll show you like what I added first, and then I'll bring his parts in too, just so you can hear everything together. I remember hearing the drums that he sent, and I really enjoyed the percussion of it. But I wanted to add like a kick that kind of hit and gave it more of a hip hop feel. So I think I found this kick maybe in just a random sample kit that I had, and I made it a little bit like I kind of like I think I took the tail end of it off, or maybe I chopped it up. I think it was actually this pattern right here. Let's hear that real quick. So instead of having this pattern, I literally just chopped it into one single kick, which you see right here. And then I created my own pattern out of it to fit with what was going with the drums. And I ended up adding in, oh, maybe I didn't. I think I just kind of kept it as it is because it already had that punch to it. But here's the new pattern that I came up with. That's just a different variation. But I'll play you what that sounds like coupled with the drums that he put in as well. So I just thought that kick paired very well with that. And I thought it made total sense to add that in there because I was getting a lot of energy from the percussion that he sent. And I was like, I felt like that kick would definitely take it to the next level. So the next element I added in were these very airy pads off of pigments, which I put kind of where a pre-chorus would go. And this one, the actual sound is called Call Me Monday, which I don't think I've used this a ton. Um, but it's kind of like, as you can see, it says violin sustained. So it's kind of like a violin mixed with some different vocal elements. And obviously, I added a lot of reverb to it, and some saturation, things like that. I EQ'd it in a certain way where the best frequencies kind of cut through. So let's hear that one by itself. So you know what I've always said before, just keep it as simple as possible. Don't overdo it. And I knew since he already created pretty much the main elements of the track, all I wanted to do was just add those little subtle hints in there that were going to kind of let you know where the changes were. That's really all I was trying to do on this. And the only other main thing I put in were these bells. And I think those are from Pigments too. Yeah, they are. They're from Pigments as well, and they're called another one, Bells the Dust. Love the name. Uh, I think all I did was kind of mess with the sustain a little bit, probably reverbed it a bit. Let me see this. Yeah, I reverbed it a little bit, added some dampness, made the size a little bigger just to give it more of that airy feel to fit with the pads. So let's hear those real quick. And again, it's just another counter melody, nothing super over the top. But those are almost like they remind me of kind of like Christmas bells or like a bell choir in a church. And I just love the texture of that sound a lot. I've used that in a lot of beats before, and I thought it fit very well for this. So let's hear just what that sounds like added to what Jailan's parts were to begin with. I don't always add to beats. A lot of the times I'm kind of just doing my own thing. But I think the formula that I found for working with other producers is really just play your part, and depending on how much is already in the song, don't try to overdo it. Like I feel like if this was 7 or 8 years ago, I probably would have tried to add so much to this beat. But realizing that Jailan already put these amazing parts in, the bass, the drums, and the keys. And those were that's really the glue of the production. My role was just to come in and just kind of what can I do to elevate this? Like, what else can be put in here to really just take it to that next level? So that's really what this one was. So yeah, this is pretty much my contribution to this track. Now you're going to see what Jailan added, and he's going to break down those other three parts. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And yeah, check out what Jailan did to this.
What's up, y'all? This is your boy Jailan. If you don't know by now, on February 7th, I released a collaborative EP with phenomenal producer Anthony Church. The name of the project is Proof of Concept. It features 4 different tracks. I encourage y'all to check it out. It's available on all streaming platforms. But in this Instagram reel, we're going to do a beat breakdown of the intro track, Blueprint. Let's get into it. All right, so first let's hear the point in the track where all of the instruments are playing. So very tight, very clean, a lot of good energy, very ambient. Very smooth, powerful, groovy. So what I added to the track, these drums here, I got from Cymatics. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. CY Maddox. But they got some really, really cool drum loops, and a lot of them you can get for free. But yeah, added these drums, and I really wanted to make them sound clean, tight, have a pocket, you know, have a punchiness to it. Just a kick with, of course, hats, snare. The pocket is there. The pocket is there. There's a lot of flavor in those drums. And then what I added was these key parts here, keyboard parts. So I don't even remember what chords I played, so please don't ask me. And we also got these pads. And then the strings. And a quick thing to note here, all of these sounds except for the drums and the bass and the where it says keys to, all of these were really stock sounds, like sounds that came straight from Ableton. So it just goes to show how you don't need to buy expensive sounds or all these packs and stuff to make good music. You know, make use of what you have, just be creative. And also keep things simple. So we got all of that. We also have this analog flute lead that I added. I wanted this to sound like a I wanted this to sound like a cell phone. Right, and then we have the bass line, which clean, groovy, in the pocket. And honestly, this track would not be what it is without the bass line. Put all of that together and you got this. That's it. This was a really simple track. I mean, very minimal, not a lot going on. It's just great sounds that mixed well together off rep. Not a whole lot of mixing, not a whole lot of effects put on these instruments, these sounds. Just really Anthony and I just using our ears and just letting the music make itself, really, you know. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this. Go check out Proof of Concept, available on all streaming platforms. Big shout out to Anthony for collaborating with me on this project. Enjoy.